Okay, well, I actually had a dream last night that we were all here together on this podcast video thingy on YouTube, and I had each of you help me pick a card. So, the beard, I want you to pick a suit like hearts, clubs, spades, diamonds.
Okay.
What is it? What'd you pick?
Oh, I'm supposed to tell you?
Yeah,
Okay. Diamonds.
diamonds. I mean, so
Girl's
see
best
it.
friend.
Doesn't matter. This deck of cards is here. So diamonds, great. My favorite type of suit is a three-piece suit, but diamonds is great. And Dimples, what's your favorite number? Or it can be a face card. I'm not trying to force anything. Like
7.
Okay, 7. Do you guys want to stick with that? A 7 of diamonds that you chose together. There's no way you would have known I was going to ask for that. Do you want to change anything? It's totally up to you.
No,
I'm good.
Great. I like it when men know what they want. Perfect.
Yes. It's very rare.
not often.
In my dream, I dreamed of that, actually. I'm saying I like it so much, I dreamed about it. And what I did is I took the card that you thought of when I woke up this morning and I put it in this deck facing the opposite direction of all the other cards in preparation for this moment when I could prove to you that I can tell the future. So if I really can tell the future, that would mean that your card is facing the opposite direction in this deck. Do you want?
No way. No way.
Want to see?
Yes.
Okay, you gotta tell me. But first, and then I do this in virtual all the time. I say, okay, you have to scream when you see a card facing the opposite direction. Okay.
Ah!
Got it. Got it.
Here.
Nope. Back up.
Here. Over here. Is it over here?
Nope.
Too far.
No, it's in that. No, I'm just so screwing with you.
It's
this one.
It's that one.
Well,
it's this one. What do you say?
7 of
7
diamonds.
Welcome, fellow lushes. Come on in, pull up a bar stool, and enjoy some cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
To be fair,
I'm old and drinking. I don't remember everything. But you know what I do remember?
no. Open the tavern.
Open the tavern. Whoop, whoop.
The tavern is now
Open.
Oh. Wonder if anybody's ever. Oh no, we didn't put the video out, just the audio. In the audio, you can't tell that we're pointing.
Through a lot of it.
What?
Of the early ones?
No, the one that we did for our, for our people, people. Yeah,
Those are sound effects.
yeah,
Those are high tech sound
those are
effects.
just a sound effect. Anyway, welcome back to a magical episode of Cocktails with Dimples and the Beard. Matt, I already said magical.
But that magical isn't gonna
magical
make
edition.
it on.
What? No,
That was before the light.
No, what I meant is the past few episodes I've been saying welcome back to the da whatever edition. This time I should have said magical edition, but I said magical edition before. Anyway, welcome back. We are drinking magical drinks
They're magically delicious.
in a magical studio.
So they're lucky. No. Yeah, Lucky Charms.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Lucky Charm drink.
They're magically delicious.
I should know that. I love leprechauns. It is not, but it is. Well, I guess maybe we'll find out in the morning because it's a painkiller. So any pains? Do you have any pains right now?
I always have pains. I'm 50 now.
Okay, so that's right.
Yeah.
So give it a couple drinks and see if the pain goes away.
I'm guessing if you had like 3 or 4 of these, a lot of pain would be gone. But the next morning, you're probably going to wake up with some pain.
With the name, I expected a lot more booze to be in it. Usually they give those
That's
names
true.
to the ones that are like
True.
black rum,
Yeah.
coconut rum,
And then
Vodka.
splash of orange juice.
and then a splash of orange on top.
Yeah.
So
No, this one is
it's a little deceiving, but it's dark rum, right?
It is dark rum. You can taste
A
it,
little, yeah.
but it's good.
It is tasty.
I'm telling you, it's the nutmeg. I'm glad you put the megs from your nuts.
I did.
On top of the drink.
You know, one of those cheese graters.
What is nutmeg? Nutmeg. That is that like scraping the nuts?
It is.
Hmm.
My nuts. I mean, this is the organic kind.
Let's
They
not
come
do-
right
let's-
from it.
Let's not do that to this episode.
She's gonna be.
She's a little more family friendly. We don't want.
She is. She
we don't wanna do
is.
that to
That's
this
true. That's true. So
Ignore my shirt. Don't Google my shirt. Don't Google my shirt. Whatever you do, don't Google my shirt and put the meaning of this in the comments.
it's just blocked off. All it says is Oprah.
Oprah. I'm a big
He's
fan.
a big fan of Oprah.
Big fan.
You know why? Because you get a t-shirt. You get
get
a t-shirt. You get a t-shirt.
Yeah. Speaking of t-shirts, all you t-shirt makers out there,
I want to get
you want cool guys to wear your shirt on a podcast? We're your guys.
Yeah, there you go.
We love t-shirts. We want to wear some. I'm sick of buying them. So
has anybody noticed that we don't like to wear the same one twice?
no.
And obviously I wore the Boston shirt because our guest is from
Is she?
California.
Wow. Did they move Boston?
No, I just there's no correlation. I just grabbed it because
Yeah,
I haven't worn that one, and then it hit me after we were talking.
Well, I went through my closet tonight and went, anything to do with magic? Magic?
I did too.
I really did. I had the Icarus Bell shirt with the rabbit skull. I thought, well, a rabbit, I could do that.
Yeah.
But speaking of Icarus Bell, do you see their parties coming up? The release party's coming up.
Did we get a name? Did it give a date?
Yeah, they originally said it was gonna be in January, and now it's gonna be December 14th. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
We'll have to talk about that. I did the same thing.
I don't think
went
we've
through my-
officially been invited yet.
Well, we could
just show the video when we walk up the door. Look, we were invited.
they told us to invite us, and I thought you were invited if you sponsored,
Yeah, I think so.
like an auto.
I don't know that we're still doing that.
They're still doing that.
No, I don't know that we are, because I don't know what card I was using to pay that, and I've gotten rid of a lot of them, so I think we're not doing that anymore. So
Oh, the continuous sponsor.
yeah, so maybe we'll get listed.
Don't say that.
Maybe we won't,
Of course we are.
but
Maybe we gotta
regardless,
maybe we gotta re-look at that.
we got a personal
Let's discuss
invite
that
from Al when he was on the podcast.
That's true. And both.
So yeah, so and I'm not gonna. We're not.
So I did the same thing. I was going through my t-shirts and I saw the words as I was going through one. I think it was you can trick us, something like that.
Oh.
And I went, oh, but it was Gags the Clown. And I went, oh, it's not a clown.
Well, she went
It's tricks.
to clown college.
Yeah. And then I said, well, let's save that for October, possibly. And then I grabbed Boston because that reflects. So anyways, yes.
You can't see that says Boston.
You can't.
and
You just look
everything,
like
so
a record album.
mine. You can tell that it says Oprah. Oops.
Because Oprah is a sponsor of the show.
That's a good point. She likes to give away free shit. Oprah.
She doesn't give away nothing free.
Why don't you sponsor?
They give it to her free and she gives it away.
Okay, well, so be it. But still, why don't you sponsor this little podcast?
Because she's
That's a good cocktail.
I got nothing. Oh, there was a chunk of coconut right there.
Right there.
That was a chunk of coconut right there.
Right in my
So we had to
mouth.
use coconut cream of coconut,
We were supposed to.
but I got coconut cream.
Yeah, that's okay. What is happening? What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to get this so you don't have to do it during the episode.
Mm.
Suck her down. Wait.
Mm.
Boom.
right.
Now we're done.
Now we're done.
Now it's gone.
Gone.
Gone. All right, out of here. So, anyways, there you go. There's our prepared for our magical guest. So this is our another first on the episode.
Yep.
An actual magician.
First redhead. Oh, magician.
Well, and first redhead, first
no, I think we've had
magician,
redhead
and the
before.
first redhead magician.
No, I think we've had
We had a redhead before. Yeah, right. So it's the first redhead magician and first magician.
First magician.
So if we have another magician, we can say you're the first magician if you're not a redhead.
no, still be the second magician.
Well, she's first redhead magician.
Okay.
She'll be the next person will be the first brunette.
First brunette. Yeah, that's too many. Yeah, filters. All right.
Well, you know what? In the meantime, while we're bullshitting, you're saying, we're sick of these guys. Why don't you give us a like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment, which helps us immensely. Talk to us. Tell us about our meaning of the shirt.
Tell us how magical we are.
And we better not let lead pretty lady waiting.
A pretty magician waiting. She'll make you disappear.
She will.
So without further ado, Magical Katrina.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
How are you guys?
We are doing very good.
Phenomenal.
Thank you for joining us. Magical Katrina. We were just saying we've done 100 and some odd episodes of this, and you are our first magician. So excited for that. And yeah, I think I stumbled upon you from Chapel Rowan's videos. I think the first place that I saw you and started following you and was dazzled by the magic. So I'm like, let's see if we can get a magician to talk to. So we appreciate you coming on.
Very cool. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So as long as I mention it, first question, how'd you get involved in Chapel's music video?
Oh, yeah. So they reached out to me to do Chapel Roan's music video just on my website. And it was kind of funny because they were like, yeah, we're like doing a little music video and it's kind of like an independent thing. And like usually those don't have budgets and they're not really artists I care about. So it's kind of like, okay, like what's this going to be? I'm going to give them my day rate and they're going to be like, never mind, bye. And I didn't, and they were like, it's for a music video called Red Wine Supernova. And I was like, I don't know what that is. Like, okay. And then like, I got off the phone and I like, looked up the artist. They said like, yeah, we're like in this music video. And they were for Chapel Roan, like they responded to my quote. And, I like looked up the name and I was like, oh, wait, is she the person who does Pink Pony Club? And I was like, holy crap. I love that song so much. That was like my personal anthem of summer of 2020. Like,
that's awesome.
I was like, oh my gosh. So, but I'd already like quoted them my day rate, which was high. I would have done it for free, but actually it's good because they were just like, cool, we'll book you at that rate. And we're excited to have you.
That's
so
awesome.
I was like, oh, wow. So it kind of worked out. And I'm actually kind of glad I didn't know who it was because I would have been like, I'll do it for trade. Like, I just love her.
Right.
They ended up just like hiring me and also taking care of me. And it was great. But I met with the producers and everyone on Zoom beforehand. And they were like, yeah, we're kind of like wanting to do a Dita Von Teese kind of mixed with like magic. And I thought like, that's literally me. Like my whole house is full of like vintage glamorous stuff. I have all 3 of Dita Von Teese's books like signed by her.
Nice.
And
Ooh.
I love magic. And I literally have like a mood board or like not a mood board. I don't know. I don't believe in like the thing of just the secret, imagine things and they'll happen. But I have a board that you can look at when you wake up and I know it's inspiring. And I have some photos of Dita Von Teese and like, big magic things and just combos of stuff. So it's like, wow, this is like exactly up my alley. And they were just so amazed to have found me. I guess they also auditioned like people that weren't magicians, but were just like, pinup girls or burlesque girls. And they're like, well, we'll have to teach them magic and get a magic consultant. So they originally contacted me, I think, about magic consulting. And then they thought, oh, you're perfect for both. You could magic consult and be the magician.
Yeah.
Worked out.
Wow.
Like a triple whammy there.
Yeah. And I feel like Chapel has really kind of blown up since that video came out too. Now she's like touring with Olivia Rodrigo. And I mean,
yeah, I'm embarrassed. I don't know who Olivia Rodrigo is.
Oh,
Did she do the vampire song?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, that's big on TikTok. It keeps getting recommended.
The only reason I know that is because I have a young daughter who likes her. So otherwise I wouldn't have known who she was either.
I know that song. I just wow, that's huge. And she's like Amazon recommended artist. I don't know. I have a terrible memory, but yeah, it's been really awesome to see her journey. Yeah. She was so sweet. Everyone on set was so nice and respectful. And it was really great. Everyone was great.
Awesome. Going into it, did they say this is what you wanted to do, or did they say, can you recommend certain tricks for the video, or were pre-planned?
Yeah, so I guess when I magic consult, because I do it a lot, like I also do right now, I'm working with like a hair care company to make TikToks with their products. So that kind of involves them just sending me a bunch of bottles of their hair care product and me, destroying some of them, adding magnets to them, tape, figuring out how to turn them into magical things, like coming up with tricks. In this case, we had a really short timeline. I think it was like a couple weeks, 1 week, like not even enough for me to order something from a magic website and have it delivered in time for
Wow.
it was like Monday, and then we shot that following Saturday.
Oh,
I
wow.
think something really tight like that. So like we ordered something and it never came in time, but it said it was going to come the day before, and one little thing it didn't come in time, which was a color changing rose, so we didn't do that. But I just fortunately had all the magic that we used already.
Yeah.
But they came to me and they said, you know, what are options you have for seducing her? And I had like making chocolates appear, and I just happened to have this multiplying rose magic trick that I had sitting in my drawer for years, but I thought was cool.
Yeah.
So I showed them that, and I just showed them videos of all the stuff I have, because there's difference between magicians' repertoire, what we use every day, you know, like in my standard wedding show or family show or corporate event or virtual show. And then there's a difference of like all the crap I have in my storage that given 3 days I could learn, but it's not like something I know. It's just I bought the thing, I haven't learned it, right? So like I'm not going to give away any magic secrets, but a lot of it is people buying stuff and then how to use that stuff. You know, you have to buy the box to cut the woman in half, and it's not a cheap box. So anyway, so I had them multiplying roses and ended up like having that, and we have a thing called a card fountain. This isn't really giving magic away. It just makes all the cards jump out in a spring.
Sure.
At the end when we were kissing with the cards. So I just happen to have all those things, and they kind of were like, well, we want this feeling here, and I pitched like 20 different things I could do, and Chapel came over and I taught her some magic and taught her like a wand spin so that, you know, she could do some of the magic with me. So she was actually in my house like learning how to do this, and I was really impressed. She's like so quick. Like I'll teach people this all the time and they do not learn it, and she learned it in 5 minutes. She was doing it, and it was very impressive. And then the day of filming, she had gotten like all the stuff down. So it's really cool.
That sounds like a great experience.
All right, so enough about Chapel. Let's talk about you.
It was amazing.
Damn.
And I'll say also Hadley, the producer, was amazing, and it was a great group of people to work with. Okay,
so
me.
Either way, it was fun to be involved with presenting what you can do, and they appreciated it.
Yeah, it was that's probably one of my favorite things I've ever done. I loved her already. I loved her music. I grew up doing Rocky Horror Picture Show in high school, the Shadow Cast. So it's very much my aesthetic. I love, you know, burlesque and pinup and magic and that Victorian. Anyway, I loved it. It was pretty much like I strive to keep this brand and aesthetic of myself. And I often think like, maybe like dressing vintage and like, you know, being kind of flirty. I drop it at corporate events and family events, but like that's kind of my Instagram and social media presence because it's part of who I am. I grew up doing Rocky, and I've always thought like maybe I should just like go full commercial and just not like be myself on social media anymore because it's just, you know, a job. And then when they found me and they were like, you're exactly what we want and we get you and you are the thing we want to do, I was like, wow, like this is the type of work that I want that fits so perfectly with my brand. And so it was just magical. It was really cool.
Always be true to yourself, right?
Well, unless the money's really good. Then I'll do your corporate event and I will clean up my act.
That's true. That's true. I guess,
which is fun as well.
I guess for enough money, we would stop swearing on this thing.
Yeah, the thing is, we're all multifaceted beings. We can do art that is different parts of ourselves, right? But it was cool to have that part and actually get to do that because you know, 90% of the way I make an income is doing very commercialized family shows and corporate events. And I don't get to do that, you know, type of thing.
Sure.
Well, tonight, hopefully you can be yourself and show us what you're all about. And with that being said, we'd like to just cheers you quick because we are drinking a painkiller.
Oh, awesome.
Which you are.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. Thank you for joining us before we get too far into it, which is a delightful drink.
Yeah, we like to.
I actually, this is my tiki mug collection. Big tiki fan.
Nice.
Wow. So you must have been in heaven. I see that you were in Chicago at 3 Dots and a Dash.
Oh, perfect.
Which we love that bar and have been there many, many times.
Me? I feel like that was a long time ago. You must have gone.
Yeah, it was a couple years ago.
We become
Yeah.
we become Instagram stalkers after we book guests. I mean, so it's a good way to do research. So
Huh. Well, the last tiki bar I was actually at was Beach Bum Berries, Latitude 29 in New Orleans, but I just posted that to my story, so I guess it's not as stalkable.
yeah,
Um,
Well,
so that
I
was
recognize the name because we frequent it quite a bit, and I was just there less than a year ago.
yeah. We're up in
two dots and a dash.
Yes.
Ah,
we're up in Wisconsin. So when we get down to Chicago, we'll make sure we pop in for one, or two, or
Tiki bar on steroids.
yeah. So let's go back to the beginning. How'd you get started in magic? What drew you to magic?
Yeah. So when I was there's a couple different origin stories, but when I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a witch. Like I loved Kiki's Delivery Service. I don't know if you know that Miyazaki movie.
Oh,
No, Dimples doesn't. Oh, so Miyazaki, My Neighbor Totoro. You don't know any of those?
mm-mm.
You would maybe recognize the characters. It's kind of like the Disney of Japan.
Okay.
And the reason I know about it is Spirited Away won an award years ago in America. Like they was so good. It also was in our awards things. I was like 7. Anyway, it's about a witch. Kiki's Delivery Service is about a witch. And I loved that show when I was 5. Like I loved it so much. And then growing up, I loved Sabrina the Teenage Witch and like Hocus Pocus. And like when I was older, I loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Do you know that one?
Oh yeah.
I'm just
Yep.
shouting out all these very nerdy references.
Hey, when I was young, I used to love Bewitched.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I hate to use the word problematic because that sounds overly like it's really not that big of a thing. But I will say I totally smoked weed the other day and tried to watch Bewitched because I thought it's a really good research for me. And it just like I watched like 5 episodes and it just like depressed me. I love the aesthetic, but I was like, why does she have to dim her light for him? Like she's like, I'm a witch, and he's like, okay, stop being yourself. And she's like, okay. And then she's like, oh, he's not working. Magic. And then he's like, I told you to stop being yourself. And she's like, oh, sorry. I'll be your wife again, and I'll stop doing magic and being myself. It's like that's the whole like 5 seasons or something. I don't know how many seasons it is.
Until he gets into trouble, and then he needs her witchcraft to get him out of the bit.
I only watched like 5 episodes. I watched Gilligan's Island though, and they had a great magic episode. I was just watching that recently, where like a magician's trunk washed up on the beach, and then like Ginger does magic, and they all do magic, and like it was pretty cute. So I love watching like episodes of things that magic's involved in, and I like Bewitched. I should give it a second watch, maybe when I'm not like stoned, because I was totally like analyzing it.
Yeah,
like more than I normally, which normally makes me enjoy older things that move at a slower pace with their cuts.
Yeah.
So look for episodes with Paul Lynn on them. He's hilarious. I think he's like an uncle, but when he comes on, he brings a nastiness to it, and her mother's hilarious too.
Okay. Oh yeah, I know the mother. She's like, why are you with him? He's
right. She's trying to break him up.
He wants you to not do magic.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like the modern version of Bewitched would be if like a man like married a woman who was like, well, I'm secretly a CEO, and he's like, oh, I don't want you to be a CEO. And she's like, okay, I won't be. Like, I'm sorry, my power intimidates you. I love you, so I will give up my power that is intimidating you.
Yeah.
I mean, the show was in the 60s.
And I will say she gave that up, and that's her right too. I don't want to be like, it bothers me too, because I'm on that end of the, not to make this all about feminism, but I often get flack from other female magicians or other, women that are like, well, you doing like that sexy video, right? Or like wearing a leotard without pants, that's ruining it for us. So it's like, it's my choice to do whatever I want. If I want to dress in a skirt, I should be able to. If Samantha Stevens wants to give up her powers because she loves staring, I am not going to tell her she's doing feminism wrong, right? Like that's part of being a woman.
That's true. Pick your path.
But she seems to like really not enjoy it because every second he looks away, she's doing magic. So that's where that intersection is.
I get it, but
it would anyway.
I'm curious because you talked about this. Your feeling on being referred to as a female magician all the time.
Oh, I know that there are some people that are like, mostly women that are like, oh, don't put that, don't say that because it should just be magician.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, there's actor and actress, and no one gets mad about that.
Oh, some do. Some
my
do. Some
opinion,
say, no, they're
oh,
all actors.
They're all actors.
yeah,
You're not going to please everyone. You know that. So,
yeah, you can't please anyone. I do a lot of SEO, big fan of SEO. So I put female magician all over my website. And I don't care what you call me as long as you pay me to do your event. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know why females, I have a friend that is non-binary and genderqueer, and they have on their website LGBTQ magician.
Sure.
And sometimes people are looking to book that.
Yeah.
It's like, so that's where I come from at it. Is I've gotten booked for a lot of things I never would have gotten booked for if I didn't have that on my website. Like, I'm pretty sure the Chapel Roan music video, they weren't looking for a man. She's a queer icon.
Yeah.
That's true.
They were looking for a woman. And like I did Lockheed Martin's women like summit. And they're like I don't know what the exact word is, like a 100 or blue chip company, like not Fortune 500, like a step fancier than that.
Yeah.
And they're a big deal. And I never ever would have done that if I didn't have female magician on my website, and virtual magician or virtual female magician, female magician that does virtual events. It's all keyword stuffing and SEO. And so I don't care as long as I can use it to,
right.
do well.
Yeah. Propel yourself. I'd be proud of it. And I'm okay with it.
So did you,
matters.
was there female magicians when you were growing up that you were drawn to? Because you don't hear a lot about female I'm going to say musicians over and over again. Female magicians, it's a pretty male dominated world, especially kind of at the top. So were there female magicians that you looked up to growing up?
No. My idea of magic was witches, which were so cool, and I wanted to be a witch so bad. And in middle school, I read All Interview with a Vampire, and I wanted to be a vampire witch, and I was Wiccan just to upset my very Catholic mom. So that was my like magical path in middle school. I was like, yeah, I'm a vampire witch. I love this, reading my books. I dyed one of my hair streaks red. I was like 11. And then like I knew of David Copperfield and Chris Angel and all that, but I did not think of that as cool. And I know that's awful to say. When I get interviewed for magician podcasts, I say the same thing. I'm like, it is so amazing. It's totally an art form. I'm inspired by it. I feel that way now. But when I was younger, I always just thought of Arrested Development and Job.
Oh, yeah.
That, and so that's like, what is it? Tricks are what whores do for money, Michael. I'm an illusionist, or whatever. Like, I just thought of like nerds, and which is terrible to say. And I do not feel that way now at all. I respect it as an art form. It's really hard to do. But so I never I also didn't. It sounds so dumb, because like saying like I didn't see a woman doing it, so I didn't think I could, is like, well, I mean, that's a very low-hanging, a very common thing people say. But here's how I think about it. Again, I'm such a Joss Whedon nerd, like a Buffy nerd. But have you seen Firefly?
Yes,
guys?
years
and then
ago.
There's Buffy, and I've seen both of them, and I love both of them. But no matter how equally good the writing is, me when I'm 10, I loved Buffy because I saw me in her. She's wearing a skirt, she's kicking ass, she has lipstick on, she's like a sassy thing she says, and then she like flips her hair. Like it's representation, and it does matter, I think. And I know that's like such a buzz phrase to say, but I think it really does, especially when you're like a little kid.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't think women could be magicians. It's not could. I feel like we could do anything we want, but I didn't think that they were, or maybe like, I don't know. I didn't see it as an option. And then I was a princess at children's parties, and I got shown a couple really cheesy tricks. I wasn't told really how to do them, just the secret. So like there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to a trick. Like you don't just go like, oh, here's the false bottom. Right.
What?
And that's what they did. So there's no I'm not gonna give away magic secrets. We're like, here's the magnet, whatever it is. so they showed me some tricks, the secrets, didn't tell me how to do them, didn't tell me how to perform them, and then just like threw me dressed as Cinderella into kids' parties. And I had to sink or swim. And I feel so bad for those kids. I like ruined their birthdays. The shows were terrible. I mean, I didn't ruin their birthdays, but like looking back, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It was bad.
They still had a princess at the party, right?
Right.
That's true. That's true. So it's not good. But I got better, right? Because when you don't have any other option, that's what you do. And it was my job at the time. So that's how I started. And then I just got my own princess costumes and my own supplies and started doing magical princess parties on my own. And then eventually, I don't know, like 7 years ago, I sold all my princess costumes and just started doing magic full time as myself. So. Mm-hmm.
And look where you are today. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. And I honestly, I love musicals and I love Disney so much.
Sure.
And I still do as an adult. I'm a huge musical theater nerd. But I will say, I think like seeing something more attainable, not attainable like The Girl Next Door, like I, could be you when you grow up doing magic, is a little different than like I'm Princess Anna and I'm doing magic. So I think in a way I'm slightly more inspiring to little girls because they can relate more to me than a magical princess that's not real.
Yeah,
that's true.
I have a young daughter, and this is the first episode that she said to me. I told her we were talking to a magician, and she said, "Can you tell her not to swear or anything? Because I want to watch this one." So I'm like, that's awesome. So she's very interested in watching this one. We can still swear. She's heard them all. So
I was gonna say she's been around me. She's heard them.
She's heard them.
Well, how old is she?
She's 8.
Aw.
Yeah. So she's excited to watch this one. So I'm excited.
Well, I mean, as a kid, I think I don't know. I wanted to be a magician at one time. I just sucked, so I gave it up. I mean, that's a lot of things, but I think most kids at one time see it, amazed by it. I want to do it.
Right.
And then don't carry on. So at least you got to carry on.
Yeah. Well, I never saw a magician as a child.
Oh.
Ever once.
Okay.
I didn't go to many birthday. I mean, this is going to get into therapy time, but like, yeah, my mom wouldn't really let me play with other kids. She was working full time, a single mom. So she didn't want to drive me to things. So I never went to stuff. Like I didn't have friends that I could hang out with outside of school till she gave me the Portland bus pass for the month and I could go myself, and then she's just like, bye. And so I think it was like maybe 13, I got a bus pass and I could go do my own thing. And that's when I was able to go to friends' parties and things. But that's, I never really saw a magician. I never had the magician as a kid. So I think my only experience was like seeing a commercial for a special by David Copperfield or something, and Arrested Development, which I probably watched at like 15.
Sure.
And that's it. I didn't ever see one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were failing, I just meant the first time as a princess, here, go do it. Were you discouraged, or you're like, no, I'm gonna nail this. I'm gonna get this down.
I hated the magic part. It was my least favorite part. I love the face painting because I could just zone out, listen to Frozen. I love musicals. I was like, I'll listen to Idina Menzel sing and just paint on this kid's cheek. I could just do like 20 kids' faces, and I just am in my zone painting. It's great. It's like getting paid to paint and listen to music you like. So I love that. I was good at balloon twisting, but I always dreaded the 30-minute magic show. I hated it. Wow. And I just slowly got better. It was painful. I had to research a lot of magic tricks and try to put a princess spin on them. So it wasn't just like, here's cards.
Sure.
And yeah, it was painful. The thing that really made me realize magic could be like my career and do it more seriously is when I went to the Magic Castle, which is an institution in Los Angeles. It's an amazing place. Do you guys know what that is? You're in Wisconsin, so maybe you don't.
No.
Okay.
We've definitely never been there, but I think it was on the show Love.
Yeah.
On Netflix.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, with the nerdy guy and the girl. I can't think of her name.
The girl
Gillian.
from Community. I don't know her name. Yeah. So
they went to it. He was into magic.
Yeah, I've never seen that show, but I saw that clip where they went to the castle. And it's also in
Gotcha.
Arrested Development. They make fun of it. They call it the, I won't say it because we're gonna have an 8-year-old watch this show later. But yeah, they make fun of it if you remember that castle and that
Yeah.
in Arrested Development. That's what it is, basically.
Okay.
But like that's making fun of it, that's not really it. But it's kind of it. But it's also kind of I don't know who's watching this podcast. Maybe magicians are watching it looking mad. I said that. It's not, it's a show, it's a TV show, it's a parody.
We're here to start beef with you and the other magicians. That's our main goal.
Yeah.
We want to see a magician fight.
With magic.
Oh, anyway. What was I gonna say?
A castle.
Sorry. Oh yeah, so I saw all these amazing performers that did magic and like had characters and had the magic support their character. And it wasn't just like an old guy doing a string of tricks without any like plot or narrative arc or anything. It was like there was an old vintage magician that was a woman, and she's not old. Her name's Carissa Hendricks. She's in her early 30s. But she did amazing like magic that was all character supported. Like she had a transatlantic accent and had like a cocktail glass. All of the things in her show and the props and the magic she did made sense in the world she'd created. And it's so funny, but I'd never seen that before in magic, ever.
Mm-hmm.
I was just doing a string of bad tricks for kids. And I saw this amazing magician like Zabrecki, who is kind of like out of the Addams Family or Munsters world, and he's kind of peculiar, and all of the magic he does is like odd magic oddities, and he's really funny. And so I saw these magicians making it an art form, and I was like, oh, I didn't know you could do that with magic. Until I went to the Magic Castle and saw like the world's best people. And so I just started focusing it on it even more as an art. And that's around when I just gave my princess costumes up and out and not threw them away, I sold them. And I thought, I'm gonna go into doing this full time. Before then, I was doing stand-up and taking all these improv classes at like Second City. You're probably familiar with
yeah,
Second City.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And we used to have an LA one before COVID, and it shut down during I think 2021. But I took all the classes there up to advanced, and I would do groundlings and UCB. Those are also big improv things.
Sure.
Clowning. So I did all this, and I did stand up. I learned about joke structure, and I would go to open mics, and I would do dancing, and I did all these different odd random things that you couldn't really make money to do, but were like artistically satisfying and fun. And I had all these skills, and I thought, like, what the hell am I going to do with these things? And magic is like a vehicle that I can put all of those things into. I use improv every day as a magician. I use joke structure and joke writing. And so it just really became like a lens and a vehicle to put my other things through. And I haven't looked back. Like, I feel like it just was like it clicked.
Yeah.
Magic was my thing. And
we're looking you up, stalking you. Yeah, it was kind of, you were involved in everything, juggling and stilt walking and everything you could think of for magic or whatever. You did it, and you did it well. So, I mean, that's a heck of a journey, learning all those skills. Was it you nailed one and said, I need to learn something new, or why did you expand so much?
Well, it's hard to make money as a performer full time. And so that's why I learned all those things. Stilt walking at a concert at night is not going to be at the same time that a kid's party is, which isn't going to be at the same time that a corporate event is, where I have to swing dance with a dance troupe. So I just was doing every single private event thing when I was in the Bay Area that you could, before I went to the Magic Castle, that you could like possibly do to make money. And so that's kind of it. I was just doing it as a job, but still walking was great because it paid better because it was a skill. And I learned that over time, because I was first a cigarette girl and doing, I'd be like a flapper, and the Gatsby movie had just come out around when I was 19. This is like, 9-10 years ago. And so I was doing all these like acting private event things. And that went with the princess thing. So I was like being characters, and
you were a princess. A princess you were a princess selling cigarettes?
No, those are two different things. I was a cigarette girl at Gatsby parties. Okay.
I'm just joking.
No, you're good. I do get that a lot though, from like really old, like conservative magicians. They're like, so you do burlesque at children's parties while doing magic? And I'm like, No. Do you have sex with your wife at children's parties? Or do you do magic? Like, do you do different things in different appropriate places for those things? Oh, you do. Why do you assume I don't like have different things I do in different settings? Anyway, thank you for the free therapy. Sorry. So I'm like,
you're welcome. I just
I'm like, no, I don't sell
funny.
cigarettes to kids. Anyway. The thing is too, when you're doing cigarette whatever for like the Twitter holiday party, it's not really cigarettes, it's like candy ones because it's corporate. And like,
Yeah.
but anyway.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
I was doing all that. And I just was like, oh, I see the stilt walker is getting paid twice as much. I should stilt walk. And then juggling, I will say, is just a labor of love. I love it. But I have gotten paid to like juggle knives on stilts and juggling clubs on stilts at like a bar mitzvah, and I didn't drop them. I did not hurt anyone. But that was like the peak of my juggling and stilt walking. And I think I was like, yeah, you can hire me to stilt walk, and you can hire me for an upcharge juggle or balloon twist while I'm on stilts. Wow. But the thing is, stilt walking is really dangerous, and it does not pay as well as magic. I'm very financially driven, if you couldn't tell. But so I just stopped doing it because I've heard so many horror stories about people getting like their legs broken. The thing about stilts is you can be the best stilt walker in the world. But if you're here and someone goes from the side of you, like you can train to fall back and forward safely with your weight, which I never really got very good at. So I was afraid.
So you just didn't fall.
Yeah, I never fell. I never fell once. But if I was, I would have maybe not done well. But then I heard a story about someone who'd been stilt walking like 20 years. Really good. They could fall forward or backward, get up, get on the stilts from the ground. Great core strength. But if someone comes from you from the side, it doesn't matter. You're screwed.
Yeah,
true.
So it doesn't matter. So your legs are broken, or something's broken, your hip's broken, and
if you have knives in your hand, then you get stabbed. So,
being on stilts around kids seems like the scariest thing in the world.
Like drunk people at concerts, like. I had all these really fun lines, though I'll never get to say again. Like I'd be like, I heard, like I had a flapper character on stilts, and I'd be like, I heard that men like a woman with long legs, or I was at this concert and their cops were there, and I got a good photo with the cops, and I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm this high in front of the cops. And so like I had it was fun. I'll never get to use those lines as a magician, but since 2020 I just haven't. I sold my stilts and I put them away because I was like, the safety is not worth the pay. Like that just does not. Like, you
still juggling though?
I do for fun because I just love it. It's fun.
So I could never juggle. What's a good tip? For starters?
There's really good YouTube videos you can watch about juggling. That's a lot of what I learned. There's also something called Jugglepedia that I found because I taught myself in 30 days how to juggle clubs. I knew how to juggle balls before then.
Didn't even do that.
No. Yeah. Nope.
I mean, other than never mind. 8-year-old. Never mind.
Yeah. Other than your own. Yeah. No, it's fine. No. You won't get the joke.
So yeah, and I would say Jugglepedia is great. I just looked up on YouTube like how to juggle, and people had really good advice. So I would say that's the best advice. What I do when I'm juggling pins is I try to, or balls, anything like that. I make a triangle shape. So I'm throwing the ball. I'll do it with this fake marshmallow. This is a magic thing I was doing. Anyway, so I will take this and I will try to make I don't know if it's called the apex, the tallest point of the circle to be this. And I'm throwing it across my body. A lot of people that start juggling will throw this way away from their body, and then they end up on their tiptoes following. You might see that when you do it. So the best thing to do when you're learning to juggle with balls is just go back to step 1. Don't try to do 2. Don't try to do 3. Practice 1 this way, not this way, and do it, I would say 100 times a day for 3 days. And when you can basically do it and you have no issues, then you get a second one and you try to do this. This blew my mind. This just phrase: throw, catch, catch, throw, catch, catch, throw, catch, catch, throw, catch, catch. And you try to even it out and have them do the same thing, but with 2. And the timing is throw, throw, catch, catch. And that's really important because when you move to 3, the number one mistake people make when they're going from 2 to 3 is they will hold on to that third one and not throw it. Right?
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
you're
you're
like,
scared.
ah, crap. And then you're like, ah, crap. So just remembering to do that second throw. So, and you always want to throw the one that has 2 in it first. You go throw, throw, catch, catch, and then you catch the other one.
Oh.
So then you can kind of get it going. Ah, I don't know if
Okay.
that's
So throw.
catch, catch. But you
Got
want to
that.
really start slow. Go from 1,
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
it
Yeah.
right with 1. I know it doesn't seem fun, and then go to 2, and then go to 3. And honestly, that's a lot of what magic is just doing the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Is it considered juggling if you only have 2?
I don't think so, but it would be considering practicing juggling.
There you go. So I have
It'd be considering an embarrassing juggler.
I have a homework assignment. Sorry to interrupt this episode for this, but I have a homework assignment for 150th episode. I want you to juggle. All right, back to the interview. You got like 15 episodes to figure that out. That's enough time? That's 15 weeks.
I believe in you. I think you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, after a great lesson, maybe.
So which
I already had.
Where do you come up with ideas for the tricks?
Well, I think coming up with ideas is like any creative artistic pursuit. It's like, what came first? Did I see something and I got this idea? Did I see something and write it down? And then 4 years later saw something else. And I was like, wait, these things could go together. Was I in the shower? I don't know if that's a word. I compare it to like writing a joke.
Sure.
And you think like, oh, that just like brings me joy. I don't know if it's going anywhere. I'm going to write it down. And so like recently I'm working on a trick about how people look like their dogs. Here, I might actually have an example of these cards. You know how sometimes people look like their dogs?
Yeah.
Sure.
I just love that. And I think it's the most fabulous, dumb thing ever. And it's like everywhere. And everyone loves dogs. It's not like a polarizing viewpoint. Right?
Right. You're pretty safe with that one.
So I thought that, and then I saw this matching card trick, and then I started looking at pictures of people looking like their dogs. And I have and then I made these cards with these pictures. So I didn't take the pictures. They're from a matching card game. But it's not cards, like they're like hard pieces. It's like a board game thing. Anyway, so I just have like a card trick about matching, but it's funny because I think I wrote down the thing about people looking like their dogs, like, I don't know, literally years ago. And I just didn't have a place for that idea to go, but I just knew I wanted to do something with it someday. And then I saw that trick and I was like, wow, oh, this is my favorite because dog spelled backwards is God.
Perfect.
So I like to use that as an example because it's a trick that I've made the premise and the props, but I've used like 7 different effects. Like I can have a trick where like people pick 5 cards and they match the other 5 cards of the dogs, or just one, or like with magic, there's a lot of different pathways to get to the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Or a version of that thing. So I have small versions of these. I have gimmicked versions of gimmicks when it's like a little different than what you think it is. It's a secret magic thing. I'm not going to ruin magic, but I mean, everyone knows what a gimmick is, I think.
Believe me, you could explain the trick detail for detail for detail, and I still would have no idea how it works. So
that's what you want. So
reverse psychology.
Kinda, yeah.
So that's something I'm proud of. I just think it's really funny. And then, but sometimes I'll just be like at a magic convention in the dealer's hall, or like, the trade show kind of area, and I'll see someone doing a cool trick they're selling. And I'm like, that's awesome. And then I buy it because I think, well, I have a story I could put on that trick that already exists.
Okay.
And so a lot of magicians, we think about like what came first, the trick or the premise, or the trick or the story. And some people are just cover bands. Like they just, take someone else's trick, they buy it so they can perform it. which is so weird that our art form has that, because you can't like buy, Dave Chappelle or Amy Schumer's jokes. That would be stealing. But in magic, you can buy someone's trick, buy their whole script, and just completely regurgitate it, and it's legal, and they're happy you bought their thing.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's really weird. There's a lot of people that are just like try to copy Chris Angel or copy David Copperfield and do like a trick exactly how they do it. But I try to always, even if it's not a trick that I invented, when I buy it, like put my own spin or my own creative thing on it. So it's like, what came first? I don't know. I have so many things I bought that I'm going to do something with it. And then it's in my closet till Chapel Roan says, we need you to make some roses appear to seduce a lady. And then I have it. And then it was meant to be. So,
right.
And you're prepared. Yes. Before I go any further, I do want to mention, because we're in Wisconsin. We're real close to Appleton, where Houdini grew up.
Yeah.
Don't know if he was an influence. Obviously not as a childhood. During your childhood, we've learned that. But later on, obviously his name came up. But yeah, so he is, we got a museum and plazas named after him right here in Appleton. That's where we are.
Oh. What's your favorite things about Houdini, or favorite tricks he did, or fun facts?
It was like the water stuff.
Yeah.
That when he
didn't he do like a safe in a water, like the safe in the water or something like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't exactly know. I think he did like a lot, but getting inside of a lot of things and then going in water. Yeah.
And then in water.
Right. Yeah. And then in water. Yeah. Like it wasn't bad enough first.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I saw you do a straitjacket. You ever think about doing it in water?
Maybe. I do. Again, a lot of my magic is corporate and kids parties and private events, and I just feel like it would be hard to sell people when they have an event at a venue. Like, take all of the people and we're going to go to the river. One thing I really admire about Houdini that made his legacy just go on beyond him is he was like the best. I think it was his brother was like his PR person, and he had like the best PR, because there was, hundreds of escape artists at the time. There were even female escape artists, but they didn't have as good of PR. And like, he died on Halloween, and then people did Ouija boards and like raised his ghost, and his family like kept his name around a lot longer than he did. But I will say, to get back to the water thing, what he was good about is that was like a really good PR stunt, because he would do these things. He'd go to a jail and he'd give keys, and to the, what is it, the police jail guy? I don't know. It's like, for me,
sure.
I just had a very full day. So
it's a good thing you don't know what they're called, because
his police jail person.
You haven't been there.
The sheriff, I don't know.
The warden.
Like, I'm going to go to jail, lock me up, and I'm going to try and get out. And like, if he could get out, then that was amazing PR. Like, and David Blaine is, I think, a similar in our generation version of that, doing all these extreme things. It's a really great PR stunt, and really impressive. And I wouldn't even say stunt, like everything David Blaine does is real. I watched his TED Talk, and he's like, I really held my breath. I had to practice for like 6 years. I did it. I almost died. Like, and I believe that that's not fake. Yeah. I will say one cool thing. One of my favorite stories about Houdini is his wife, Bessie. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. She would go to everything with him, right? And if he was like, I'm gonna maybe die, like I want to say goodbye to my wife, he would like kiss her before he would do the escape and hug, just in case it was the last time he'd see her. And one great emotionally intense moment, like he was creating a great story there, and it was true, he loved her. But also, when they kissed, she would often pass him a key.
The key, yeah.
Her mouth. So I do
remember that in a movie I saw of his. Now that you say that.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, like that's so sweet. So I find Houdini fascinating. But I think most of his success is just because he had people like telling his story after he died. He had great PR.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just like social media now, right?
Sure.
Yeah, that's what it was. One of my other favorite stories, and I heard this from a woman named Connie Boyd, who really researches historical female figures in magic, is there was a woman, Mistress of Magic, I think was her name. I no, oh gosh, I want to look it up, but I probably don't have time. Anyway, she would do escapes,
Okay.
and I used to know her name. Gosh darn it.
Let me see if I can find it while you talk.
And she would female escape artist 20s, I think. What was her name?
If I want to give her props, because you don't hear it. She obviously
Minerva.
didn't
It was
has-
Minerva.
Oh, I've
Okay.
heard that. Yeah.
as good a PR.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she was awesome at PR at the time, but maybe she didn't have like a brother that kept her like ghost coming back every Halloween. I don't know. I'm not trying to throw shade at Houdini. He's great. But Minerva
Be
was a
careful, he
contemporary-
haunts you.
But she was a contemporary of Houdini's time. And I learned this in Connie's lecture, but a lot of people don't know that. But there was a lot of escape artists then. And she would be, so he did like the water barrel escape, I think, or the milk can escape. He would do one of those and she would do the other one. I don't remember which one he did, but if he did the water barrel, she did the milk can. And if he did the milk can, she did the water barrel. Anyway, she would do it in like a white nightgown.
Okay.
I see where you're going here.
So I think it's pretty good PR. And
White nightgown and water.
in the 20s.
Hmm.
And she would escape faster. And if he did things, she would do them like blindfolded and handcuffed. Like she was one-upping him. And they were, and this was what I saw in this lecture. They were such like neck and neck, she was gaining popularity. He actually hired women that weren't magicians, taught them aspects of her act, and sent them to do tours so that she wouldn't be as special. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Wow.
flood the market, kind of.
Yeah, flood the market. Like, there's so many female escape artists, but I'm Houdini. Yeah. And I've tried to look that up on the internet, and I haven't had a ton of luck finding like where she got that information, but she really does research like every female magician. She'll ask stories. She has transcripts. She has letters from like these people. So definitely also just check out Connie Boyd, because she does this amazing YouTube channel called Women in Magic or something like that. And,
Yeah.
Anyway, it's great. But I thought that was interesting. And
Yeah.
for Minerva.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How much time do you spend practicing magic?
Depends. Usually I try to do at least 30 minutes a day, but sometimes it's 6 hours. And I'm pretty ADHD, I think. So I'll have a really hard time focusing, but then I'll just like snap into this zone where I'm like, I do it for 4 hours straight if I have nothing going on, because I'm like perfecting something, which is great. And I love getting in that zone. Usually happens when I'm listening to music and practicing, because it's just kind of like dancing,
What's your favorite music to listen to while you practice?
I have a lot of playlists on Spotify, and I have my favorites playlist, which is where I just throw everything that I
Gotcha.
like, and then I sort it. I don't know, like everything. My favorite types of music is like jazz, not like instrumental jazz, more like Ella Fitzgerald or Cole Porter or Peggy Lee, stuff like that. And then I also love musical theater. I love musicals.
Yeah, nice.
What's
What do
your
you-
favorite kind of music? The Beard.
Dave Matthews Band. We're giant Dave Matthews Band nerds. So we've traveled the country. We've seen 50 plus shows. So that's our
That's our
Wow.
that's our
our jam.
yeah, that's our nerd. Yeah.
So
So
like, I mean, they're pretty prolific. Like,
yeah.
with a song.
Oh God.
Oh, you can't.
That's an impossible question.
We actually did it. We actually did a podcast of our top 10 list of Dave Matthews songs, and
Yeah. Even that was hard to come up with a top 10 list.
Right.
So
and
Wow.
it changes every day. But
yeah, they kind of change by mood, But I have to tell you though, it's been hitting my head as you've been talking about music theater and comedy, and you're in LA. Have you ever heard of the comedian Chase O'Donnell?
Mm-mm.
You've got to look her up.
oh,
She's
You're right.
hilarious.
Good.
And she does Instagram reels where she does if musicals were real.
awesome.
Oh,
Music-
I follow that woman.
Yes.
She's awesome.
Yeah. We've had
I
her
didn't
on a couple
know-
times. She's fantastic.
You've had her on?
Yeah, a
Yeah.
couple times.
Oh,
Twice
very
now.
cool. Yeah, I follow her. I totally know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
didn't know her name, but I
Yeah.
follow her.
Yeah, I figured that'd be right up your alley.
It is, because those are so they don't get old.
Right.
Every time she does a new one, they don't get old.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I know you have a heart out, and we don't want to keep you past what you got. I'm wondering if can you do a little magic for us before we wrap up?
Okay.
All right.
So here we go, a little magic.
Okay. Well, I actually had a dream last night that we were all here together on this podcast video thingy on YouTube. And I had each of you help me pick a card. So the beard, I want you to pick a suit like hearts, clubs, spades, diamonds.
Okay.
What is it? What'd you pick?
Oh, I'm supposed to tell you?
Yeah.
Okay. Diamonds.
Diamonds. I mean, so
Girl's
see,
best friend.
doesn't matter. This deck of cards is here. So diamonds, great. My favorite type of suit is a 3-piece suit, but diamonds is great. And Dimples, what's your favorite number? Or it can be a face card. I'm not trying to force anything. Like
7.
Okay, 7. Do you guys want to stick with that? A 7 of diamonds that you chose together. There's no way you would have known I was going to ask for that. Do you want to change anything? It's totally up to you.
No,
I'm good.
Great. I like it when men know what they want. Perfect.
Yes. It's very rare.
not often.
In my dream, I dreamed of that, actually. I'm saying I like it so much. I dreamed about it. And what I did is I took the card that you thought of when I woke up this morning and I put it in this deck facing the opposite direction of all the other cards in preparation for this moment when I could prove to you that I can tell the future. So if I really can tell the future, that would mean that your card is facing the opposite direction in this deck. Do you want to?
No way. No
want
way.
to see?
Yes.
Okay, so you gotta tell me. But first, and then I do this in virtual all the time. I say, okay, you have to scream when you see a card facing the opposite direction. Okay.
Ah!
Got it. Got it.
Here.
Nope. Back up.
Here. Over here. Is it
Right.
over here?
Nope.
Too far.
No, it's in that. No, I'm just
Right there.
I'm so screwed with you. It's this one.
It's that one.
Well,
It's this one. What do you say?
7 of
7 of
diamonds.
diamonds.
Yes,
You
you
gotta be
did.
Fucking kidding me. That's ridiculous.
Thank you. Sometimes I do this for kids shows, so it says, "Clean your socks."
I think it should say clean your mouth.
Yeah.
And I
Sorry.
usually, yeah.
Hey, when swear words are warranted, I'm going to use them, and that was fucking ridiculous. So
Come on.
Thank you.
How does that even happen?
I love doing card tricks because it's so good. And I love doing really visual tricks too. A lot of when I do like virtual magic, I'll basically like switch between really interactive tricks where someone's like thinking of something and being a part of it and influencing the magic, and really visual tricks like this.
No.
if I slow that way down, like, will I be like,
Yeah, it'll truly ruin the magic for you.
okay, then I'm
So,
not
like
gonna.
if you want to have magic ruined, then
Don't
yeah,
ruin it
do
for me.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. No, I don't.
Don't ruin my youth.
Well,
You'll do
it's
it now.
funny. I don't like giving away secrets, but I also find when I do shows for children, it's empowering to like be like, hey, you could do this. It's just skill and learning stuff. Like,
Right.
Is the reading minds, which obviously you just did.
Oh, that was just pure magic. Like I can just tell the future.
That was just magic. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't ask questions. It's magic.
Yeah, and Santa Claus is real, and all that stuff's real. All of it.
Perfect.
So
Perfect. Well, thank you.
That's 8-year-olds are watching.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The kids are.
So even after all these years, I'm still flabbergasted at things like that. So I think that's why magic sticks around, because it is fun to just watch. And
yeah, it's entertaining for every age. That's what I love about it. It's the art form that you can truly get. The family can get together and watch it. One other question before we let you go: what is harder to do, the tricks or write the script? Like
probably learning the tricks, because I love all the aspects of it, but like it's more natural to me to just think of something funny and write it down. Yeah. And then it is to sit down and do something over and over again. Right. Like I want to text while I watch TV. I have such a short attention span. So that's like my biggest thing, is overcoming my own attention span to do magic. Whereas just thinking of a funny like 69 joke, I'm like, that's funny. I'll write it down. One of my favorite jokes is I'll say like, pick a number, or I'll say like, hold up your favorite finger. I do it in different scenarios, and I'll say, make sure it's family friendly.
Oh.
Make sure it's family friendly. I have to say that because if I don't, 69% of the time it's not. And I love that. And I can do it at like corporate events most of the time, and people love it. I read the room and see if it's appropriate. But that's one of those things that like, if people get it, they get it. And they're like, oh, and if they don't, it's totally appropriate. It's a numbers joke.
Right.
It's a numbers joke.
That's it. That's all it is.
Exactly.
So, like that, I think just came to me, and I was like, oh, write that down. That's funny. That makes me laugh. Maybe it'll make other people laugh. And whereas like sitting down and doing something and practicing is like kind of painful, but I do it.
You do it very well.
And very well. Yes, absolutely.
I'm extremely grateful you came on and did this. I hope we can do it again, because I would love for you to do some more magic for us at some point. And we didn't even touch
a lot of things,
half the bases with you. So hopefully.
Oh yeah, I talk a lot.
No, that's great. That's what we want. Nobody wants to listen to us, believe me. So
it was perfect. You did perfect. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more there to talk about.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Hey, awesome. Yeah, and if your listeners want a virtual magician, I might not be in Wisconsin, but I do virtual shows, so you can see me do magic anywhere. Just convince your company that you need a virtual magician.
And where can they find you?
Magicalkatrina.com, and on social media, I'm Magical Katrina. So go check that out.
Perfect.
And she's very magical.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
This was a lot of fun.
Yay.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you for listening. The tavern is closed for now, but we'd love to have you back for more fun next time. Seriously though, get your asses out of here.